spring of 1900, a Greek sponge diver named Elias Stadiatos drops into dark water off a tiny island called Antikythera. He's just waiting out a storm, routine dive. But when he reaches the bottom, he sees bodies, dozens of them, twisted, frozen, scattered across the seabed like victims of some ancient disaster. He kicks to the surface, terrified, convinced he's found a mass grave. But when his captain goes down to investigate, the bodies turn out to be something else entirely. Bronze statues, marble sculptures, the cargo of a Roman shipwreck more than 2,000 years old. Over the next year, divers pull up treasures that belong in museums. Jewelry, glassware, coins, art meant for Rome that never arrived. And buried among it all, overlooked, corroded, dismissed as debris, is a lump of green bronze about the size of a book. For 2 years it sits in storage, ignored, until an archaeologist named Valerio Stais notices something impossible, a gear. A bronze gear with precisely cut teeth, trapped inside corroded metal that predates the Roman Empire. And that changes everything. Because ancient Greece wasn't supposed to have gears. They had philosophers, poets, playwrights, but not clockmakers, not engineers capable of building machines with interlocking wheels and microscopic precision. Yet the evidence is undeniable. Inside that corroded lump is a device so advanced that even after a century of study, scientists still struggle to understand how it was made. They call it the Antikythera Mechanism, and for decades it remained a mystery. Half of it lost to the sea, the surviving fragments too damaged to read, too complex to reconstruct, until 2005, when a 12-ton X-ray scanner rolled into the Athens Museum and started revealing secrets. Thousands of tiny Greek letters, hidden gears, instructions carved into bronze, and in 2025, after years of AI analysis and digital reconstruction, scientists finally rebuilt the missing half. And what they found, what this machine was designed to calculate, is stunning. This wasn't just a calendar, it was a computer, an analog computer that could predict eclipses, track planets, map the zodiac, and simulate the entire cosmos. 2,000 years before the first mechanical clock, 1,000 years before Europe rediscovered mathematics, built by people who weren't supposed to possess this knowledge. So who built it? How did they do it? And why did this technology disappear for 2 millennia? What if one of history's greatest inventions wasn't lost by accident, but hidden on purpose? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because what you're about to hear will change how you see the ancient world. Let's go back to that dive. 1900, the divers aren't archaeologists, they're sponge harvesters, working men, and when they realize what they found, they contact the Greek government. Within months, the Greek Navy is on site, helping recover statues, bronze limbs, marble heads, a bronze philosopher, a dying warrior, pieces of a lost world, and that corroded bronze lump. No one pays attention to it. It's cataloged, stored, forgotten. Until 1902, that's when Valerio Stais, an archaeologist at the National Museum, is going through the finds, and he sees it, a gear tooth, barely visible but unmistakable, cut with precision, embedded in bronze that's over 2,000 years old. The implications are staggering, because gears, complex gearing systems, don't appear in Europe until the Middle Ages. The first mechanical clocks show up in the 1300s, but this shipwreck dates to the 1st century BCE, which means someone in ancient Greece built a machine with gears, 1,000 years too early. Scholars are baffled, some refuse to believe it's Greek, they suggest it's medieval, that it somehow got mixed into the wreck by mistake. Others say it's a hoax, but the dating is solid. The ship went down around 70 to 60 BCE, carrying luxury goods, probably looted from Greece, headed for Rome, and this device was part of that cargo. Over the next few decades, researchers try to study it. But it's in terrible condition, 82 fragments, fused together by corrosion. The bronze has turned green, the inscriptions are illegible, and half the machine, maybe more, is gone. Lost to the sea, for nearly a century it sits in the Athens Museum, a puzzle no one can solve. Scientists photograph it, draw diagrams, make wild guesses about its purpose. Some think it's an astrolabe, others suggest navigation. A few even propose it's a toy, but no one really knows, until technology catches up. In 2005, a team from Britain and Greece brings in serious equipment, a 12-ton CT scanner called Blade Runner, capable of firing high-energy X-rays straight through metal, and a reflectance imaging system that lights up the surface from hundreds of angles, revealing inscriptions invisible to the naked eye. For the first time in 2,000 years, the machine starts to speak. The scans take months, slice by slice, layer by layer, building a three-dimensional map of the interior, and what emerges is astonishing. Not just gears, but a network of gears, interlocking, stacked, rotating on different axes, some as small as coins, with teeth so precise they rival modern watchmaking. But the real breakthrough comes from the inscriptions, thousands of them, tiny Greek letters etched onto the plates, the front cover, the back cover, even inside the mechanism itself. And when researchers start decoding them, they realize what they're reading. Instructions, a user manual carved in bronze. The texts describe astronomical cycles, lunar months, solar years, the Metonic cycle, a 19-year period that keeps the lunar calendar aligned with the seasons, the Ecliptic cycle, the Saros cycle for predicting eclipses. These aren't poetic descriptions, they're technical specifications, and they reference something even more remarkable: planets. The text mentions the 5 planets visible to the naked eye: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and it describes their movements, their cycles, their positions in the zodiac. This isn't just astronomy, it's mathematical astronomy, the kind of precision that shouldn't exist until the Renaissance. By 2016, researchers have transcribed over 3,400 characters, more than half the original text, and the picture becomes clearer. The device had 2 faces. The back was for calendars and eclipses, spirals marking time, predicting when the moon would darken, when the sun would vanish, but the front, the missing half, was something else entirely, a moving model of the cosmos. Then in 2019, something changes the game entirely. Artificial intelligence, specifically DeepMind's Ithaca model, trained to restore damaged Greek inscriptions, fed the Antikythera fragments. AI starts filling in the gaps, predicting missing letters, reconstructing sentences. Its accuracy alone is around 62%, but combined with human experts, it jumps to over 70%. Phrases that were illegible for 2,000 years suddenly make sense. And what they describe is a machine that doesn't just calculate. It displays, it simulates, it shows you the heavens in motion. Knowing what it did is one thing, rebuilding it is another. Enter Michael Wright, a curator at the Science Museum in London. In the early 2000s, Wright starts building physical models, by hand, gear by gear. He introduces epicyclic gearing, small gears orbiting larger ones, the same principle used in modern car transmissions, and he discovers something crucial. The Greeks used this to simulate planetary motion, the way planets speed up and slow down as they cross the sky. Wright even builds a pin and slot mechanism, a small pin riding in a curved slot, creating variable motion, mimicking Mercury and Venus, their erratic paths. His models aren't perfect, but they prove it's possible. The front face could have worked. Then in 2021, a team at University College London takes it further. They have something Wright didn't. Supercomputing power, high-resolution scans, complete transcriptions of the inscriptions, and they build a digital model. 69 gears, 35 from the surviving fragments, 34 reconstructed for the missing half, all fitting inside a frame smaller than a shoebox. The design is breathtaking. A central dome represents Earth, around it, nested rings for the moon, sun, and 5 planets, all rotating on a single axis, tubes within tubes, so multiple displays can move independently without interfering. The whole system is driven by one-hand crank. Turn it, and the cosmos comes alive. Saturn takes 29 years to orbit, Jupiter 12, Mars 2, the Sun 1, Venus and Mercury dance around the Sun, speeding up, slowing down, even stopping and reversing, retrograde motion. Exactly as the ancients observed. And the moon. The moon is extraordinary, a tiny sphere, half black, half white, rotating to show phases. New moon, crescent, full, waning. All mechanically accurate. The reconstruction even solves old mysteries. A fragment called Fragment D turns out to be part of the Venus system. Another piece, Spoke B, fits into the lunar node mechanism, predicting eclipses. Everything has a place, everything works, and when scientists finally turn the crank on their model, the machine does exactly what the inscriptions promised. It moves the heavens. Imagine standing before this device in the 1st century, BCE. You're in a workshop, or a temple, maybe a palace, and someone shows you this bronze box. They open it, and inside you see rings, beads, pointers. They turn a handle, and the rings start moving. The moon glides through the zodiac, its bead rotating, showing you tonight's phase. The sun marks the season: spring, summer, autumn, winter, and the planets, those wandering stars, trace their paths, stopping, reversing, moving forward again. You're not reading about the cosmos, you're watching it in real time. This isn't mythology, it's mathematics, and it's terrifying because it means the Greeks understood the universe in ways we didn't think possible. The front face displayed everything, Earth at the center, still unmoving as they believed. Around it, 7 rings, one for each celestial body: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sunday, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and beyond them 2 outer rings, one marked with the 12 zodiac constellations, the other counting the 365 days of the year. Turn the crank, and the beads move, each at its own speed, each following its own cycle. The Moon completes its orbit in 29 days, the Sun in 365, Saturn takes 29 years, but the mechanism compresses time. Turn the handle and months pass in seconds. You can fast forward to any date, any eclipse, any conjunction, and the machine shows you what the sky will look like. There's even a parapegma, a star calendar, tiny Greek letters inscribed around the zodiac. Each letter references a note written on panels above and below the dial. Sirius rises, Orion sets, Pleiades appear. Farmers use this to time planting, sailors to plan voyages, priests to schedule festivals. It wasn't just science, it was power, because if you could predict the heavens, you could control the narrative, you could claim divine favor, stage omens, declare prophecies fulfilled. The mechanism wasn't just a tool, it was a weapon, and whoever owned it controlled time itself. Here's where it gets darker. The Antikythera Mechanism wasn't built for science alone. It was built for influence. The Greeks lived by the sky. Eclipses terrified them. Planetary alignments were seen as omens. Festivals, wars, coronations, all timed by celestial events. If you could predict those events, you didn't just understand the cosmos, you commanded it. Imagine a ruler with this device. He knows an eclipse is coming, months in advance. He doesn't tell anyone. Then on the day, he steps before his people, declares he will darken the sun, and the sun goes dark. Divine power, proven. The inscriptions even reveal political layers. The month names are Corinthian, used in Epirus and Corcyra, specific regions, which suggests the device wasn't generic, it was customized. For a patron, a city, a ruler, different versions might have existed, each embedding local calendars, local gods, local power. Scientists now believe multiple mechanisms were built. This one, found in a shipwreck, was being transported, possibly looted, possibly gifted, but it wasn't unique. It was part of a tradition, a lost tradition, because after the Roman conquest, this knowledge vanished. Libraries burned, workshops destroyed, wars erased centuries of progress, and the Antikythera Mechanism became a legend, then a mystery, then forgotten entirely. Until 1900, when a sponge diver stumbled on it by accident. So what do we know? The Antikythera Mechanism was real. It worked. It predicted eclipses, tracked planets, simulated the cosmos, with precision that wouldn't be matched for over 1,000 years. Scientists have rebuilt it, AI has decoded it, and every new discovery makes it stranger. Because this wasn't a one-off curiosity, it was the product of a scientific tradition, a tradition that built machines, wrote manuals, taught students, and then disappeared completely. No other device like it has survived, no blueprints, no successor models, just this one corroded fragment pulled from the sea by divers who had no idea what they'd found. The Antikythera Mechanism proves that ancient Greece was far more advanced than we thought, that they didn't just philosophize about the universe, they built it in bronze. And the scariest part? If this survived, what else didn't? How many other machines were lost? How much knowledge was erased? And how different would history be if this technology hadn't vanished? The mechanism still sits in Athens, you can see it. The fragments, the gears, the inscriptions, and now, thanks to AI and modern engineering, we can finally see what it looked like, what it did, how it moved. But one question remains: why did it disappear? Was it lost by accident, or was it hidden? Because controlling time, controlling the heavens, that's power. And power like that doesn't just vanish, it's taken. What do you think? Was the Antikythera Mechanism the peak of Greek science, or evidence of something older, something lost? Drop your theory in the comments. If you made it this far, you're not just curious, you're a seeker. So here's what to do next. Hit subscribe right now to join the Untold Archives, because these stories are just beginning. Drop your theory in the comments. If the ancient Greeks had computers that predicted the cosmos, what else did they build that we haven't found yet? I'll feature the best answers in a future video and share this video with someone who still thinks ancient civilizations were primitive because this machine proves they were anything but.